Hello, this is Alec Steed with Force Fit CU for my final TED Talk presentation, you might add. I'm going to be running through a dime model type style of what I went throughout my entrepreneurial journey this semester and what I went through. So I'm part of Force Fit CU. I was a workout regimen plan that gave my customers a workout plan for the week. I was able to meet with them once a week and be able to go from there. The one time I meet with them is a workout with them and also giving advice on what they should be doing throughout the week and what my qualifications were for myself was being a part of the Marine Corps, which I went through in February. I thought that would bring a different taste to Clark, seeing as there's not really many people who are in the military at Clark, and give them a different taste of working out and how they can better themselves throughout their process here. So what I went through for the idea, fitness and nutrition, wellness for Clark students. What I really meant through a 13-week process, which also turned into a week-by-week process, which I saw that a lot of people were also interested in. Also providing updates throughout their fitness journey, such as a fitness test, and not really focusing on what they look like or what their bodies turn into, whether they want to get thinner, stronger, bigger, faster. Didn't really go towards looks. It went towards on how they can perform with certain exercises, and that would also resonate and relate to what they look like, which is what people are more looking forward, which people are more looking for rather than getting bigger, faster, stronger, all that stuff. Types of customers that I wanted to get didn't matter, male, female, big, small. What I also mainly went through was club sports athletes, club sports players, and non-athletes at the school, because the varsity sports students here have access to trainers and gyms and facilities, and they know what they're doing. I kind of wanted more towards the beginner, while I also worked with someone of more an advanced level of fitness. I just mainly tried to focus on the beginners. What I went through to get the word out was I went through social media, which was a hit in 115, which it also became a hit in this class. I really branched out on Instagram, which is probably the platform that I best know well. Did tabling and did flyers throughout campus, and also had free group meetings to showcase what I'm doing for my customers, and that you can just be able to come work out with me. If you like it, stick with it. If not, it's okay. But then also they can tell their friends about it and get more word about it. One thing I'd like to focus on was the transparency. After doing the project from last week, it wasn't as big as I really thought it was. It was kind of so-so with different customers. They weren't really, a lot of people, you want to see a trainer who is fit, but you don't want to see a trainer who is too fit where they've, quote, beat the gym and they're already too good to be working out with someone. So I thought me as like a decently in shape person, but still someone who wants to get better, can work with them together and get leaner like I wanted to do, and work with them and keep going from there. So what I did was I'm going to go into effective selling at this point. How can I get the customers to pay for it? What I really wanted to do, like I was stating earlier, was the military aspect of the training that I was doing. Not a lot of weights, which it's hard to work with weights when you're a beginner. You don't really know what you're doing. You don't really know how to lift the weights, which is a really big thing. A lot of people put less weight, I think, than they can actually do, and they don't going for themselves. So I think bodyweight workouts are the really way to go, and I think that resonated well with the potential customers that I could have worked with, and it proved out to be so. So what I got through the feedback from everything was the advertising to club sports, and going through that. It was good from last week, which I learned, and throughout the week process, I figured out how I can go through and find the potential customers, because as I started, it was kind of shaky, and then as I kept working through it and going to separate events and finding new people, I was able to get the group events worked up. Finally got that going, and that resulted in more people. That was kind of running through a dime model right there. I kind of want to transfer over, and I just got a couple notes written down here. How I developed, how I can take my idea and turn it into an opportunity, and include my journey as an entrepreneur, like was stated. Throughout the journey, I definitely learned a lot. What I liked learning was, me personally, I'm probably not going to be an entrepreneur, but learning how a business operates and what needs to be done. Because as an entrepreneur and starting a business, you're doing the whole thing, especially when you're by yourself. Most people, even the ones in groups, they all have to do everything. They don't have separate people doing other things for them. As a startup, you have to figure out how to get your business going, how to get customers, what do you price it at, do you have all the right tools, do you have everything? Do you have everything that you need? And figuring it out by yourself. That's what I like learning about. I'm studying management here, and I think that really, this class really changed my mindset on how businesses work, because I've always been interested in how like a local sub shop worked. How can they make money when I walk in and sometimes they look dead, and I come in and I buy a sub for $8, but there's 3 people working there. They got to pay for their business. They gotta run their whole business. They gotta pay their employees. They gotta pay the city for the land. They gotta pay for the building cost, the electricity, all the good stuff like that. Working through this class gave me a different mindset on how they do it and why it can be really difficult to manage a business like this. So, one thing that, like I said earlier in the class, that I thought was very beneficial was going to that Clark Collective event. This is transferring over from all that. It was really cool seeing how the impact of showing up somewhere, wasn't invited, wasn't my place to be there, but since it was a Clark Run event and I'm a Clark student, I was able to go and simply just meet with the people who I know. The guy who was next to me, like you said, just so happened to want to get into fitness, and he ended up buying my plan and going with me. And I thought that was very interesting how the guy next to me was there. And then also another student who was running the business would have been with me, but she had family issues. It was very interesting how I could just show your face out, show what you have, and some people just might be interested in what you were doing. Overall, throughout the venture, I thought it very, very well. As I said, it started off hard. Once I figured out how I needed to hustle, the tabling and the flyers helped, and the Instagram was also there. But being able to just show my face out somewhere and showing people what I have really helped me, and throughout my business process. I would like to, with another couple notes, I would like to move on to different slideshow. I went through the die model 1.0. Now I want to move on to 2.0 and see what has changed for me. So like I had earlier, I tried to change it to a thing called Fitness for Dummies. I was trying to move away from the advanced workouts, but that was not the best move I made, I don't think. The customers, kind of the same. Like I did change it to the quote, unmotivated, the ones who don't really like going to the gym, want to better themselves. Getting the word out was exactly the same. The final product, what the big thing was is that I thought is don't cheat yourself. Well, if you do cheat yourself, let it be known. Don't try and hide the fact what you're doing. If you're out on the weekend and you're enjoying a couple drinks or enjoying a nice meal, let it be known. Log it in your calorie counter and go from there. Selling my business was exactly the same. I tried to move on throughout this journey. Something he told me was I was mainly just it was a fitness thing, and then I tried to collaborate with a friend on nutrition. That did not work out, did not resonate well with customers. I was glad that I got to end that. If they need advice, I can still give it to them, but I'm not an expert on it, or I don't know as much as I should. Knowledge, skills, and abilities were exactly the same. I didn't get any added certifications throughout the process. I maintained my presence on campus. I thought that worked out well, especially towards the end where I actually gained customers. Why they chose me, or why should they have chosen me, I'd say stayed the same. What I really tried to just add in that military aspect to Clark and see if that could change people's minds on should they work out like that or should they work out like a bodybuilder, should they work out like an athlete. I'd say the military thing is pretty identical to an athlete, but it gives a different sense of what people might be looking for. So overall, I kind of went back and forth throughout this video. I kind of just went through my dime model, kind of went through a separate part of how my venture went through the list by myself without looking at the dime model. Then I went to my 2.0. And now I'd just like to end on what I got out of this mainly was the entrepreneurial mindset of how a business operates and why that taking this course helps me figure out on why I can use my management degree, but using this class that I learned through it on how I can operate a business and understand how many different aspects of a business, how many parts of a business are incorporated into profits and your positive returns on investments. This is Alec with ForceFit CU. Peace.